I thought it was a situational thing where, someone needed X amount of money, which was sort of the case with your character, but I thought that was kind of the case with Lucy's character as well. And then it turned out to be this girl who just kind of latched on to Danny, the character, and just, found him as daddy. And I had light concepts, but I had no idea it was going to be something like that. I was really happy with the experience.
My name is Robert Daugherty. I play the mob boss for My Lucy Charm. My character is one that gets ripped off by Danny. It cost me a lot of money, a lot of inconvenience.
This was one of the first things that I had done that I had a substantial character on film.
Right.
Done a lot of stage, but this was the first on film thing. So I kind of didn't know what to do, what to expect anyway. So once we got here and read the script and knew kind of what we were doing, then it was pretty easy.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting what I'd seen, actually. I'd seen enough of the scenes beforehand, and Nate would, show me stuff he was editing on, or he would, show me some trailer he was putting together, and I had a totally different feel for what the movie was going to be. I had no idea, like, as I was watching it, I remember being on set a lot of the times throughout the whole film, and, like, thinking, oh yeah, I was here on that day, and then it ties into another scene all of a sudden, and I was like, oh, that's how they met. Okay, so that's how this happened, and that's why they're doing this. And
when you first approached me to the scene, our first scene was the locker room with the mob boss, and I was just thinking in the back of my mind, wow, Danny's dragging me into another one of his things. So I was just I was really hesitant. So he kind of twisted my arm a little bit because he really needs some guys, and so I finally complied.
What my thoughts were at first were, okay, I'm not doing anything today, so I'll go with it.
I didn't really know what to think about it. It was so out there. The idea was so unique that I didn't know how it was going to translate on film. I didn't know how it was going to translate with the market, how people were going to receive it. But then when I started to watch footage come through, and I was watching him on set, and everything was coming together, it wasn't just a silent film. It wasn't just experimental. It wasn't just silent. It had something to it. It had substance.
I think Lucy, for such a young actor, she's a great actress, actually, with her face expression and everything.
Sarah is just quite the character. My only dealings with her was at the fight scene. Primarily any interaction with her there, but didn't really get a feel for what her character and what she was like. And she had me laughing. She had me really cracking up through several times in the movie.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of humor for kids. Obviously, it wasn't shot for kids, but there was a lot of stuff in it that adults were busting up laughing. I was laughing a lot, and I don't laugh at movies that much, but it was funny in the beginning. There was ha-ha parts, chuckle here, chuckle there, and then that scene with the spit coming out of her hand, I was like, I just kind of lost it.
She puts her hand out to spit, to seal the deal, and out of nowhere, this goat comes flying inside of her hand, and the expression on Danny's face, and you just spit back in her hand and walked off, and then her reaction, and it was classic. That was the funniest thing I've seen, seriously, since Borat. It was incredible.
Cool.
Things just kept building on that same kind of emotion, that same mood, and it just got funnier and funnier as things went.
My mom was sitting behind me in there, and I noticed when the hitman put the gun to my head, and she's all, "Don't you shoot my baby!" And I'm like, I started laughing right there, and I think I was the only one laughing at that part because of that. Acting with the hitman, the fight scenes were way fun. I love doing that stuff.
We were gambling on the streets, and we were able to just interact with Danny and kind of fall for his little scheme that he had going on. And I thought that was really, really fun for me, because that way I could really express myself and kind of be more dramatic.
This would be the scene on top of the parking garage, parking structure. That was a lot of fun. you know, we actually paired off into groups beforehand, and we started choreographing everything that we were going to do, and we picked who we were going to fight and everything. And by the end of it, like, everybody wanted to go out and, you know, get some food together, and everyone was exchanging numbers, and everyone just ended up being friends after the whole thing. You know, the most bloody part we could possibly find, and yeah, it was great. Actually, when the opera music started playing, Danny was fighting for the first time, you know, finally didn't care anymore, you know. He's just like, whatever, now I'm just going to be who I really am. It's like his character was stripped of all of his other baggage, and he didn't have to think about any of that. So seeing a character actually reach that, and it was just like, it sucks, you know. That's when it started to hit me a bit. So that was the emotional scene for me.
I think people enjoyed the fact that it meshed together like a puzzle at the very end, and everything, like, all it just like is just like I want to say almost like Memento. I haven't seen that movie all the way through, but it was quite interesting the way that it all just pieced back together into a puzzle.
I think the film was great. It was way better than I thought, just because I didn't know. I had my character, my part, but I didn't really know, you know, all the other little bits and pieces. But now that I watched the whole thing, everything fits and looks so great, and it's a wonderful story.
I was open to be surprised, and I was very well impressed at the screening of the video. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved it.
Honestly, I was blown away. It's, you know, you see the little trailers on you know, MySpace and stuff, and but seeing it all come together was just it was absolutely amazing.
So I really enjoyed it a lot. I think the audiences are really going to take to it. I think at first they're going to be real skeptical. They're going to sit down after the first few minutes. They're going to say, you know, Danny's character it's a little weird. The acting's a little odd. Lucy, she doesn't seem to be so into it. But then you realize, you know, she's waking up and he's overacting on purpose in this scene, and then all this comes together, and you start to just like you start to roll with what's really going on in these characters' lives, and it's a great time. I think audiences will love it.